views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Get ready to experience the truth. Welcome to Truth Talk Radio with your host, Deb Acker. Truth Talk Radio is the hit show that will illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. Unleash your intuitive nature while Deb helps you stop looking outside yourself for value and happiness, break through patterns, and move into your authentic truth at lightning speed. Truth Talk Radio will leave you feeling lighter, help you live with more presence, passion, and clarity, and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Now here's your host, Deb Acker.
Hello, everyone. I'm Deb Acker, and you are listening to Truth Talk on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with me for the next hours. I help you experience the truth, nothing but the truth. Each week on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, I'll have some of the most gifted, inspiring, and unique souls, speakers, and authors helping to move you into more light, love, and, of course, truth. And before we get started today, I'd like to start out today's show, and future shows if it feels right, with an intention. And my intention for today's show, and every show really, is that everyone that needs to hear this conversation hears it, and that you leave expansive, inspired, lit up, and ready to take massive action. And with that, I'd like to welcome Jai Garcia to the show. Jai has been transforming people's lives for over 20 years now. When he started off as a personal trainer in exclusive gyms in London, he now mentors people via Skype on the topics of confidence and self-belief. And for me, I met Jai through a mutual community we participate in. Jai stands out in this community and the world by genuinely caring about each and every soul and wanting to be of true service in the world. He gives without expectation of return, and his genuine heart is what draws people to him and what really creates beautiful friendships. And with that, I'd like to welcome Jai to the show. Welcome. How are you?
Fabulous. But it's you, Deb. You've got the light and the love. So instantly fell in love, and the opportunity to collaborate with you was just a must, an absolute must. Yes, I'm feeling incredibly happy to be with you.
I am so excited to have you here. And I just can't wait to hear about your story and your journey, and really, tell us about that journey, because I know it's been a really wild ride, yes, so to speak.
Yeah. So I'm trying to decide which order to tell you. So I'm not going to start at the beginning. I'm going to start 20 years ago when I decided to become a coach, a personal trainer specifically, because I really wanted to help people with their body image, I thought. So at the time, the way to help people with their body confidence, was to start with body confidence. And at the time, I didn't realize that the thing that you want to help people with the most is the thing that you need help with the most. So at the time, my body image was very distorted, and again with the expectations of society. I was working with a lot of actors and people in the theatre, and that was their thing too. But for them, it was a tool for work. And I was obviously helping people that wanted to get into relationships, and they wanted to be their best shape. But for me, at that time, I didn't have a clue that there was this huge confidence and self-belief issue that I was masking by having this incredibly sculpted physique body and being this incredibly motivating trainer, apparently. So I slowly over time, I was getting more and more exasperated. I was exhausted. I didn't realize that in 4 years I was going to reach my first burnout. There you go. So that's a taster. Yes, so that's a taster of it.
Yeah. So how did you transition? So you and do you still do some personal training as well as coaching?
Yes. So I've got a very, very select few people that I'll personal train. And funnily enough, the people on Skype, my clients on Skype that have come to me for personal development, ask increasingly about exercise and nutrition. And it's vital, as part of that self-care and confidence building, that we get that stuff right, that we sort out our sleep. So I'm Skyping on Skype, I'm personal training as well.
Very cool. Very cool. And, so how did this, you were helping people with their bodies, and how did that start to really translate into moving into confidence and self-belief, and really how did that all kind of come about where you started actually coaching one-on-one outside of the gym?
Mm-hmm. So I find it incredibly strange because my clients kept saying to me, "Oh, do you have to qualify as a therapist to be a personal trainer?" And so the first 10 times I didn't even notice that question repeating itself. And then when one of my clients said, "Oh, which hypnotherapy school did you go to?" And I'm thinking, okay, there's something there. So I was obviously coaching at a deeper level than I realized at the time. And because I was on my journey, I had to go out and hire the best therapists, the best coaches that I could find. And so luckily as a personal trainer, I was paid extremely handsomely, and I was able to hire the best life coaches and therapists. And so it came naturally. To me, it was it's the same. So to me, it was a very natural blend. But the self-exploration, that's where I found where I reached my first denial. And it's I don't need a therapist. I don't need, and, who doesn't, who would be egotistical enough to say, "Oh, I've got it totally sorted out. I don't want to grow anymore."
Yeah. Well, okay. So I have a couple questions for clarification. So,
Yes.
So in the States, and Jay lives in London,
Yep.
or in the London area. So in the States, therapists go and they get I don't even know the full program, but they get like master's degrees and stuff.
Yes.
So therapists can move into coaching. Coaches, if they haven't gone through that program of becoming a therapist, they're not considered. You can't we don't call ourselves therapists. So, did you go through the extensive training to become a therapist, or do you find yourself more as a coach?
Yeah. So specifically a coach. Although I studied for 4 years in clinical hypnotherapy. But even here in the UK, that's not classified as a full therapist either.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So all of my qualifications are specifically in the coaching arena, but supplemented heavily with in-depth courses, and again, 4-year courses on hypnotherapy, on cognitive behavioral therapy, because the going slightly deeper. But without the whole therapy thing.
Got it. Well, and let me ask you this. So when you were, you were starting to train, and then you started to transition into doing kind of this training and this coaching, and how did you see what sort of shift, how did that sort of incorporating that full package, how did that begin to how did that shift your clients?
Oh, thank you. Yes. So, and it's wonderful because it was again, I found it a reflection. So instead of just the superficial, coach me to transform me physically, externally, we started going deeper and deeper and deeper. And in personal training, there's a lot of habit change stuff. I found that if people were not, if I weren't holding their hands, they would regress. They'd go back. And that's why coaching for me, life coaching specifically, and going deeper, is fundamental. You've got to change at a far deeper level rather than just the surface, changing your habits for 3-6 months in order to achieve an external goal.
Awesome. And so we need to take a quick break here, but when we get back, I actually want to ask you more about changing your habits. So you're listening to Truth Talk. I'm your host, Deb Acker. When we get back, we are going to explore more with Jay, so stay tuned. We will be right back.
Any day now, I will hear you say goodbye, my love, and you'll be on your way. Then my wild, beautiful bird, you will have flown.
You got attitude? Keys to the rescue. Adjust your attitude with Keys Clear Protein Waters. So refreshing, just a few sips of Keys will give you a whole new outlook, thanks to 22 grams of the happiest protein on earth. Tongue-tingling tasty without the guilt of naughty or nasty ingredients. If that doesn't put a smile on your face, maybe you need to drink too. Put a little woohoo in your attitude with Keys Protein Water. On Amazon or at Keys, Kees, please.com.
Called the Oprah of radio by her listeners, award-winning host Dr. Pat Baccili is blowing the doors off of traditional talk radio. Get ready for an energizing delivery and powerful interviews with leaders in the field of human potential. Dr. Pat's fresh, new perspective on living life full out has catapulted her show to the top of talk radio. Tune in and Dr. Pat will help you thrive instead of merely survive. Visit thedrpatshow.com. That's THEDRPatshow.com for listening times in your area.
Are you ready for a radical shift in your way of being? Are you seeking a more deeply connected and fulfilling life? Awakened Living Radio is a show dedicated to helping you embrace a life filled with profound peace, connection, and happiness. TJ Woodward is passionate about helping you find your clarity, balance, and purpose. Join co-host TJ Woodward and Dr. Pat Baccili on the first Monday of every month at 11 a.m. Pacific Time for Awakened Living Radio on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
The Doctor is in. Tune in to the hit show, The Psychic Love Doctor, with host Deborah Lee. Deborah's life-affirming, highly perceptive reading method has taught Deborah how to zero in on specific problems with relationships, career pursuits, and current roadblocks to success and happiness. Join Deborah Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific, and for a special broadcast the second Thursday of every month at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative
What
topics.
are vibes? We often use this word, but did you know vibes can actually be useful and help solve our everyday challenges? Embark on an exciting learning journey with Caitlin Keat, 11-time Visionary Award winner, specialist in vibrational energy, and the creator of Vibes Up. Join Caitlin as she takes you through the world of vibrational therapy and energy healing, with natural solutions for a modern world. Visit vibesup.com to learn more today.
Try to see it my way. Do I have to keep on talking till I can go on? While you see it your way, run the risk of knowing that our love may soon be gone. We can work it out.
We're back on Truth Talk. I'm your host, Deb Acker. My guest today is Jai Garcia, and we are exploring Jai's journey to self-belief. But before we continue, Jai, I want to ensure everyone has your contact info. Can you give this to our listeners, please?
Yes, if anyone wants to get hold of me directly, at getselfbelieftv@gmail.com if you want to send me a direct private message.
So it's getselfbelieftv@gmail.com.
Yes, please.
Awesome. And Jay does awesome periscopes too. So if you're looking for some inspiration throughout your day, I believe you can just find him at Get Self Belief. But he does awesome. Yeah. If you're on Periscope, check him out because he does an awesome job. Awesome. So before the break, we were talking a little bit about Jay and Jay's background in terms of him doing this personal training and how that really moved over into creating inside shifts. And, before the break, we mentioned about changing habits. And I want to ask you how, like someone that's looking to change their habits, that's looking to change their habits. What are your recommendations to them?
Pick one. Pick the most important. So again, a very simple thing. The very first thing so let's go back into the fitness arena. And by the way, I love the We Can Work It Out song. Thank you, Brian. Is the very first thing to lose weight is have a look at your water intake. So we're constantly looking at what's the one smallest behavior change that's going to cause the biggest change. So for health, have a look at your water content. How much water content is in your food? How much water content do you have? How much processed food? How much caffeine? How many diuretics do you have in your current diet? So we've got to, in order to get the biggest effect, you've got to pick the one habit that's easy, but that will produce the biggest change. And so sometimes there's a little bit of negotiation going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, and how does water intake? You mentioned water intake as a big one. How does that impact to create the biggest change?
Okay, so if it's weight loss, it can be simply a case of using the sipping of water to be a cue for checking your emotional state. So were you going to go and eat, or did you just need a sip of water and just to get back on and do the thing that you were doing instead of procrastinating, instead of using possibly food as a distractor or as a comforter? It can be anything. And so with a client, I'll negotiate. And so if a client says, can you think of a client or anyone that's going through a challenge, just so we can use that as an example?
Like a weight type of challenge, you mean?
Anything? Yes, it can be. Yeah, it can be a weight challenge.
We'll say a client's having trouble losing weight.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They put on a few pounds.
Yeah, so they put on a few pounds. Okay, so the other little part of it, it's just that accountability and that ownership. And so I know for a fact that the client has their answer. And so I'm constantly encouraging ownership. What behavior was it that you were doing maybe 7 days, 10 days ago that's allowed that weight to creep on? And typically, they're going to come up with a few answers. So we can either eliminate those new changes that's brought on the extra weight gain, or we can look at a deeper structure of what really needs to happen for them. So it can be a case of, so our biggest problem in coaching is when clients say, I don't know. I don't know why I'm gaining weight, or I don't know why I'm not losing weight. And then it's really up to us to very kindly delve deeper and ask probing questions, and ultimately get to the deepest rooted one is what do you really, really want?
Right. Well, what? Yeah, exactly. What do you really want? Well, and what I hear you saying is when you're talking about, like, say, for instance, the example of putting on weight, right? We can look at the outside, and that's kind of a lot of the ways that most people kind of step into this world, right? Is they look and they say, okay, I'm going to modify my diet, I'm going to hire a personal trainer, and then they kind of move from that direction, and that stuff can work. But then when you get to actually like I'll use the example of myself. So perfect. In the last few months, I put on a few pounds, like nothing major, nothing you probably even notice, but I put on a few pounds. And for me, the internal reflection, what I knew that internal reflection to be was the extra weight that I was carrying from my corporate job.
Bang.
And so that was that internal reflection. So here you've got this external reflection where it's like, okay, maybe I could change my diet. I also need to eat more than I do. I think my metabolism slowed down, but it's like looking at that and I know, okay, so I need to, change my diet and start to shift my diet. I work out a ton, so the working out is pretty good. But the piece of it is like, okay, the internal reflection of this and what really is happening, what's really keeping this weight sort of on me is this idea that sort of like that heaviness, that extra weight I was carrying around from a job that it was time to sort of exit from. So that I think, does that make, what you're talking about, does that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
So it's the what's really happening. And so the water cue is just that opportunity to reflect, to just stop for a moment. What's really happening? What do I really want? What's going on around me? And stopping, that inner voice, stopping all of those other thoughts, just having that little bit of stillness and drinking some still water. And we're just using it as a prompt. We're using it as a prompt to get the internal reflection so we can act on the signal of, okay, if this is going on around me, what weight do I need to get rid of? And for you, it's that self-care thing of, actually, I need to be eating a little bit more. I need to be looking after that metabolism.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so what you're talking about with the water is like really the water isn't about like us drinking water. I mean, obviously it's really good for us, but us drinking water isn't necessarily about like that's going to help with impact our weight or not. It's more about it gives us that ability. It's sort of like a smoker, right? With a cigarette.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's the perfect analogy. Absolutely right. Yes.
So it's like that idea of the smoker with the cigarette, and then they have this cue, and instead of obviously having an unhealthy cue by, being a smoker and smoking, you take a glass of water and you use that to help slow you down and figure out, okay, what's really, really going on here.
Absolutely. So that slowing down allows you to manage your breathing, to manage your thoughts, to have that internal reflection, to look inside and stop all of that noise, all of the things going on around you that can just shift you off path slightly.
Yeah, absolutely.
The smoker analogy is beautiful, actually.
Well, and it's like even just like, you're talking about water, so that's that external cue if somebody does have the need to have something in their hand, but also the breath, right? Just stopping
without shadow of a doubt, that breath.
Yes. And getting in that space. So, how do these changes, like as we start to make these changes, how can that impact our confidence?
Wow. So for a lot of people, the whole confidence thing can typically be simply a perception issue. It can simply be a perception issue because when we do a bit of a strengths analysis or we look at all the resources available to this person, they realize actually on paper, there isn't a single reason not to have the confidence. And so we start looking at the perception. We start looking at how they, what's their opinion on the skill set or on the resources that they have. And so we begin integrating how are you perceiving the good and the bad, as well as the unknown.
Got it. Well, and you're talking about, so, with the confidence, so they're perceiving the good and the bad. And how does that begin to, as they start to become more aware of this, how does that really start to impact, impact their confidence and then impact their inner and outer worlds?
And so that's why I found my old personal training and came in so useful. We are strengthening the confidence. We are building that confidence. We're building the seeing the good muscle. So being able to see the good. And so the journaling is absolutely crucial to this part. Absolutely crucial. So we're writing the wins. And the wins can be tiny. The wins can be so tiny. It can be the smile. It can be the taking a compliment. It can be saying thank you when they're complimented.
Yeah, just like this, just small things, right? Small little things that we can do to really start to shift and change and actually internalize the confidence that, that we're wanting to put out, out in the world.
Absolutely.
So we're going to take another break. You're listening to Truth Talk, and I am your host, Deb Acker. When we get back, Jay has had such an interesting journey with ADD and divorce and depression, and I really want to talk to him about this because I know a lot of us deal with all kinds of disappointments. So when we get back, we're going to talk with Jay about that. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
Tune in to Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fontaine on TransformationTalkRadio.com and get ready to stir up your passions, remove your blocks, and shift into an entirely new existence. Speaker, teacher, channel, clairvoyant, Leslie Fontaine is a transformation catalyst who channels a powerful energy from source to catapult listeners into living the life they were born to live. Whether it's shifting from scarcity to abundance, from emotional pain into joy, or from illness into health, Leslie will help you step into the true essence and power of all that you are with the help of the Ascended Masters and Archangels. You will not be the same. Visit TransformationTalkRadio.com for show dates and times and LeslieFontaine.com to say yes to explosive abundance.
What is a Master Soul Gardener? With Nomi Bahar, you can be one too. Her revolutionary Gates of Power method is a comprehensive program that addresses every aspect of yourself and gives you the tools to tend to the seeds of your soul's garden. Let Nomi guide you through and beyond what's holding you back and help you embrace the life you've always dreamed of. To learn more about upcoming classes and workshops, visit gatesofpower.com today.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
Song of the Heart, Walking the Path of Light, from author and healer Francine Vale, is available now. Through Francine's life story, we learn how imperative it is to love one another. Once this simple truth is learned, peace on earth will prevail. Song of the Heart is a life lived and a story told for this purpose. To learn more about Francine and her amazing gifts, or to order your copy of the book today, visit angelsandlightbeings.com.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving. Even in the face of adversity, say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
Lido missed the boat that day he left the shack, but that was all he missed.
We're back on Truth Talk, and for those just tuning in, I'm here talking with Jai Garcia about self-belief and confidence. And as I mentioned before the break, I want to switch gears here for a moment and talk to you about all of the challenges that you've overcome in life, everything from ADD and depression to divorce and loneliness. And so, I know, so obviously every single one of us, we came here to go through this human experience, and we're going through it. And, there are those constant ups and downs. And, I mentioned the roller coaster of life, which is super fun. And it's better to kind of throw your hands up in the air and embrace it than to grip on real tight. But, what are your recommendations when, let's start with just sort of, like divorce and depression and those sort of things. What are your recommendations when those things are happening in your life? How do we, what do we do in the midst of that struggle? And how do we cope and handle these things?
In an ideal world, you'll have an amazing support group already set up. In an ideal world, you'll have a best friend that's a personal trainer, that's a life coach, that's a friend that's just going to listen and shut up. So yeah, in an ideal world, you'll have an incredible support group already before anything like that happens to you. The truth is, you'll come across an experience and you won't know whether you're coming or going. You won't understand your emotions well enough. You could be, you may be exhibiting some self-destructive behaviors, whether they're just thought-wise or actually physically. You could be just feeling alone and isolated. And if at best, you may be surrounded with well-meaning friends that won't really give you an opportunity to express yourself, to totally say what you want to say before they're really keen to give you that piece of advice, or before they're going to come in and say, no, it's not your fault, before they're going to maybe artificially just inflate you or comfort you. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, and so, yeah, it's in an ideal world we have that support system, but for somebody who's going through like in your experience when you were going through through your divorce, did you have that support system? And if not, what did you do to cope?
Cool. So I had I had male friends that just said, hey, go out and get drunk. That was it. That was it. Yeah. So the only support I had were guys saying, go out and get drunk. Go out and get drunk. If you want to talk about it, let me know. And in the UK, drinking is the only way. The only place where you can go and have a talk is apparently in a pub. And it doesn't turn into a talk. It turns into, let's get smashed. Let's get smashed. Hey, why don't we go to a nightclub? You know what we need to do? We need to find you a really attractive person to sleep with.
Yep.
That's it. So, it may have its benefits. Personally, I'm all about talking it out and getting on with another part of your life and rebuilding that side, so you can realize that not all of your life is about having one partner. Some people can throw themselves too heavily into their work. And so the good news is that I did it all wrong. I would, a big transition for me. And so this was, as I was a personal trainer, I'd be training people from 5:30 o'clock in the morning, finish at 10 p.m. at night, and then I would go out drinking and partying. And when I realized I'm running up Greenwich Hill, and it's absolutely stunning when I'm running up Greenwich Hill and I realize I think I'm still drunk. We're doing interval sessions, running up a beautiful Greenwich Hill, and you see this wonderful sunrise over Canary Wharf, and I'm realizing I am still drunk. I shouldn't have cycled to this client. I'm pretty sure that my sweat is pure alcohol. And so you've got to make some of those mistakes. And so for me, seeing that sunrise was a real awakening moment for me. And it's wow, I'm a hypocrite. I'm telling people about how to be healthy, how to look after their emotions. And I decided, so because I threw myself into my work, I didn't have a holiday. I didn't have a day off for about 6 months. And so I'm working extremely long days and reaching that burnout. And the body will tell you. And people said, you're not looking so good. And so I lost even more weight. And when your own clients are telling you don't look that great, you've got to listen. And so I decided to really, really throw myself into journaling and time out. And for me, I gave myself my first holiday in a very, very long time. And it was just being okay with being on my own. And that for me was, at first, incredibly scary. And it was, I decided instantly, I'm buying a plane ticket. I cancelled 2 weeks worth of clients. And they were delighted. They said, oh, yeah, go and have a break. Can't wait to see you. And they love, and when you've got fear that you'll come back and your clients will vanish, it was all just an example of how desperate I was feeling, at the time.
Yeah,
and
well, go ahead.
Yeah, so having that time alone, which I feared, I was incredibly frightened of having that time alone, if I was honest, was wonderful, because I was able to just sit down and regroup and plan. So I had to self-coach myself, and I just wrote everything down. I went through at least four notebooks, and then I found.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and then I found light at the end of the tunnel, which was I don't need a partner. I'd enjoy companionship from the right person. And then that also helped me change the direction of my career, which was to slowly transition from personal training and have coaching as a separate business, because my fitness clients were becoming my coaching clients, but we were doing it in a gym. So they were getting coaching in a gym, or while we were running by the river.
Yeah, no, so it's a really interesting journey, right? Because it's like here, I think one of the important things, like, and I had my moment too, right? It's like a lot of times when we have to kind of get to our bottom, right? Whatever our bottom is, and for you were mentioning that, your bottom was up on that hill watching the sunset and being drunk, or sunrise, being drunk, training a client, right? And, I had mine in basically like when I had gone out on a date with a guy we'd been short-term dating, and it was just like, it was the same story I'd been telling for 10 years. And I was at my family friend's house sobbing. And so it's like we all, it's like having that moment and recognizing from that point that things can get better and they will get better. But a lot of times in those moments are the times when you have to do something drastic. Yeah. And you have to be ready for it, right? So, there are people, and I'm sure you can relate to this, right? It's like there are people that that I've talked to that they want to see their lives look different, but they're not there yet. They're not at that rock bottom, and it's unfortunate that the way that a lot of us are wired, that we have to, have to reach that bottom. But it is one of those things where sometimes that bottom can really, that's going to take us higher than we've ever imagined.
Definitely, yes.
So we are before we take our final break, Jay, I want to ask you for your contact information one more time for our listeners.
If you're into Twitter, find me at Get Self Belief. But if you want to send me a message about anything we've talked about today, getselfbelieftv@gmail.com.
Awesome. So this is Deb Acker with Truth Talk. We're going to go on a quick break, and when we return, I'm going to share my tidbits of truth. And as always, we'll finish with a vibration activation, so stay tuned. We will be right back.
She musters a smile for his nostalgic tale.
What if we really didn't have to die to go to heaven? Are you curious about the afterlife or rebirth? The highly anticipated new book from author Dr. Susan Allison, You Don't Have to Die to Go to Heaven, is available now. Find out how to find guidance and healing in the spirit realms. Order the book today and put it on your must-read list for 2016. Visit drsusanallison.com to learn more.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
What if your body and mind were the compasses to the secrets, mysteries, and magic of life? Glenna Rice, co-host of The Questionable Parent, is inviting you to access all that is possible. Glenna is a 10-year certified veteran access consciousness facilitator who offers an amazing variety of life-changing classes and workshops. Work with Glenna from anywhere with teleclasses and workshops all over the globe. To learn more and see Glenna's current schedule of events, classes, and workshops, visit glennarice.com.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic.
Just as I thought it was going all right, I found out I'm wrong when I thought I was right. It's always the same, it's just a shame, that's all. I could say day and you'd say night. Tell me it's black when I know that it's white. Always the same, it's just a shame.
Hello, this is Deb Acker. Welcome back to Truth Talk. In today's final segment, I want to talk about, we've been talking about overcoming challenges, overcoming loneliness, and really just having that self-belief and that self-confidence. And first of all, in terms of overcoming challenges, as we're going through the challenge, really breathing can be just one quick thing. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but breathing can be such an important piece in terms of really overcoming that challenge. And then another piece, like when as we're going through this, so many times we have a tendency to kind of make whatever's happening wrong, right? So we make it, we make that negative thing, that's happening to us wrong, instead of really seeing the positive even in the negative, and recognizing that's what's happening for us is for our highest good. And really, when you're focused on that negative, basically you've got to give voice to that thing that keeps it energized, right? So you've got to give voice to it and really begin to de-energize it. And what does that really look like? It's like, if you're feeling like, say, for instance, you're worried about being single or lonely, right? It's like really literally saying, I'm scared of this. Like, I'm scared of being single. I'm scared of loneliness. And really, really, really giving that voice to that, because we think that giving voice to that fear, giving voice to that thing we don't want to happen is going to make it grow or is going to create it. But at the end of the day, what actually ends up happening is we end up de-energizing it, because we end up allowing ourselves to really feel that feeling, and we allow ourselves to take that energy off of what keeps attracting that in our life. And really, guys, this is the work that I do. So I'm happy to support you in any way if this is something that calls to you. Another thing in terms of just overcoming challenges is, choosing love, choosing kindness in difficult situations. Every single day, and I hate to even say the word test, but it's like every single day we get, sort of the opportunity to decide how we're going to show up in any situation, right? Are we going to show up from love? Are we going to show up from kindness? Even if the person in front of us, even if the person sitting beside us maybe isn't, or are we going to meet them where they are? And in the moment, meeting them where they are can feel on some level kind of good. But really choosing from that higher space tells the universe what we're willing to accept, what's okay and what's not okay. And just along the lines of that, of that loneliness, can we celebrate ourselves really? Can we really fall in love with ourselves? Jay took that journey and took 2 weeks off to really fall in love with himself and really start to begin to shift the direction of looking outside of himself for that happiness, and to really get connected to himself and really tap into the magic and the beauty and just the deliciousness of who he was as a person. And that's really, for me too, it's a strong piece of the journey that I took to really falling in love with myself. And you can always, as, you're taking this journey and as you're seeing the things come forth, whether it's those negative self-beliefs or doubts or negative emotions coming forth, you can see those just like we do in the vibration activation. You can see those coming out of your body and really fill yourself up with love. And you can really just take those actions to really move towards more wholeness, move towards more completeness, and undo what I always call our inherited truths, which is those truths that we took on from our parents that we believed were our actual truth, but in reality were the truth of our parents and their parents and the parents before them, right? So once you can get clear about really, is this really me or is this something that I just learned? That's a strong key to start to shift that. So as always, I want to conclude today's show with a vibration activation. And for those of you guys who are new to vibration activation, what I'm going to do, and I'll walk you through this step by step, is I'll connect you to the light. And you want to just see that light coming through your entire body. And we'll do that a few times through. And then we're going to expand that light into the center of the room that you're in. We're just going to expand that bigger and bigger and bigger all the way out to the entire universe. And then I might say something like, everywhere you don't believe in yourselves, and you want to exhale that out. See that coming out of your body. And you want to just breathe in self-confidence. You want to breathe in self-belief. You want to breathe in truth, or breathe in light, or some other positive alternative, whatever resonates for you. And so with that, go ahead and close your eyes. And if you are operating heavy machinery or driving a car, please do not close your eyes. But for everybody else, go ahead and close your eyes and just take a nice deep breath. And just connecting to the light that's 300 feet above our heads. and we naturally do this when we pray, and just see, sense, or feel that light. And just beginning to allow this liquid light to come down in through our forehead, down past our eyes, down past our ears and nose, down past our mouth, down our neck, across our shoulders, down past our torso, down into our hips, down into our legs, and out through our feet, and connecting into the center of the earth that feels like Mother's love. It's all ooey and gooey and warm and nurturing. And just allowing this light to come back up through your feet, up through your legs, up through your torso, and up through your face. And again, just a liquid light shower just coming down through your face, down across your shoulders, down your back, down your hips, down your legs, and out through your feet. And back up through your feet, up through your legs, and up through your torso, and up through your face. And expanding that light from above and below, and expand that light from the center of your heart into the room that you're in. And you want to just see that light covering the entire room, and then just expanding that light into the entire building that you're in, just open, expanding, and breathing. Good. Open, expanding, and breathing. And expanding that light into the entire city that you're in, wherever you are right now, just seeing that light covering the entire city. And sending some extra light to Belgium right now. And just seeing that light covering the entire continent that you're on, wherever you are. Just seeing that light covering that entire continent. And now covering the entire world. So just allowing that light to come and just cover the entire world. And just open, expanding, and breathing. And allowing that light to cover the entire universe, right? So past all the planets, just so big. And just open, expand, and breathe. And light expands. And then open, expand, and breathe. And letting that light expand. And one more time, opening, expanding, and breathing. And letting that light expand. And just everywhere you don't believe in yourself in some way, just exhaling that out and just breathing in truth, breathing in self-confidence, breathing in self-belief, and breathing in love, and breathing in self-love. And just everywhere you don't feel confident, right? Just exhaling that out and just breathing in trust, breathing in confidence, breathing in trust, breathing in confidence, breathing in self-love, breathing in truth. And everywhere you feel lonely in some way, just exhaling that out and breathing in that self-love, breathing in that self-love, breathing in that self-love. And just everywhere in some way you're seeking approval, just exhaling that out. And again, just breathing in the truth, breathing in love, breathing in self-love. And everywhere you think challenges aren't for your highest good, so in some way you think that this challenge isn't for your highest good, just exhaling that out and just breathing in the truth. Breathing in light, breathing in truth, breathing in light, breathing in truth. And everywhere you're choosing to see and focus on the negative over the positive, just exhaling that out and just breathing in the positive, right? Focusing on the positive, breathing in the positive, focusing on the positive. And just everywhere in some way you're stuck in some bad habit. Exhaling that out, and again, just breathing in your truth, breathing in the truth of who you are and who you came here to be. And everywhere you're not happy with yourself in some way, just exhaling that out, and again, just breathing in light, breathing in love, breathing in self-love, breathing in truth, breathing in confidence, and breathing in self-belief. And with that, just taking a nice deep inhale and exhale. And with that, I want to thank my guest, Jai Garcia, for sharing such great information, and I want to thank you all for tuning into Truth Talk. I always love hearing from my audience, so if you have a comment on the show or would like to introduce yourself, you can send me a note on the contact page of my website at deboraacker.com. And there you can also sign up for my complimentary 30-minute discovery session, as well as my free Living in Your Truth guide. And next week on Truth Talk, we're going to have Denise Keenan, and our conversation will definitely take you through the energy and on the adventure of life. And I cannot wait. So in the meantime, have a great week, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you for listening to Truth Talk Radio with your host, Deb Acker. Tune into Truth Talk Radio every Wednesday at 3 Pacific Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com and experience the truth of who you are and who you came here to be. Each week, Deb interviews an inspiring guest and illuminates the truth to a wide range of topics, including love, life, purpose, career, consciousness, and abundance. Welcome to the world of infinite possibilities. For more information about Deb, including how to contact or work with her, visit truthtalkradioshow.com. Look forward to seeing you next week for more Truth Talk Radio.